The next article is temperature of inversion. Let us suppose that a gas under consideration obeys van der Waals equation. If a gas under consideration obeys van der Waals equation, then intermolecular forces are present in this gas. There will be molecular interaction between the molecules of the gas if the gas obeys van der Waals equation. If you want to expand the gas, you need to do work against the forces of molecular interaction. The forces of molecular interaction for a gas from van der Waals equation is given by A divided by V square. The force of molecular interaction of a gas is given by A divided by V square. If you want to expand the gas, then you need to do work against this molecular interaction, that is against A divided by V square. Let us suppose that the initial volume of the gas is V1. You want to expand this volume to V2. What you want? You want to change volume of the gas from a lower volume to a higher volume. Lower volume is V1, higher volume is V2, and therefore the work we need to do to perform this expansion is integration between the limits V1 to V2 P dV. What is this P? It is this A by V square. So it is integration within the limits V1 to V2 A divided by V square into dV. This is for the A is constant, can be taken out, and what will be integration of 1 by V square? Integration of 1 by V square is minus 1 by V. Minus 1 by V. Limits are V1 to V2. This is equal to, let us take this minus and outside, minus A into 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1. This is for the minus A by V2 plus A by V1, the work done, equation number 1. The work done against molecular interaction in expanding the volume of the given gas from V1 to V2 is given by small w is equal to minus A by V2 plus A by V1. Now, let us suppose that P1 is pressure when volume is V1 and P2 is the pressure when volume is V2. P1 is the pressure when volume is V1. P2 is the pressure when volume is V2. And therefore, total work done. In expanding the gas from volume V1 to V2 is capital W is equal to P2 V2 minus P1 V1 plus this minus A D, or let me write first small w small w, equation number 2. Now how to get this value of P2 V2? You know the Van der Waals equation. Let us simplify this Van der Waals equation. PV minus PB plus A by V minus AB by V square is equal to RT. This term is negligibly small, so let us ignore this term and write the remaining terms as PV is equal to PB minus A by V plus RT. Equation number 3. Let us substitute equation 3 here and here for volume V2 and volume V1. When we substitute equation 3 for P2 V2 P1 V1 in equation 2, total work done will become W is equal to P2 V2 is P2B minus A by V2 plus RT minus in other bracket P1B minus A by V1 plus RT plus small w. This is plus RT, because of this minus, this will become minus RT, plus RT minus RT get cancelled, and capital W will be equal to P2B minus A by V2 minus P1B plus A by V1. W is minus A by V2 plus A by V1. From these two terms, B can be taken common. What left in the bracket is P2 minus P1, then minus A by V2 minus A by V2. It will be minus 2A by V2. A by V1, A by V1. It will be again 2A by V1. Let us take 2A common. What left in the bracket then? 1 by V1 minus 1 by V2. Total work done capital W. Equation number 4. So total work done capital W is equal to B times in the bracket P2 minus P1 plus 2A times A by 1 by V1 minus 1 by V2. Let us use this equation. PV is equal to RT. Take V to this side, RT to this side. So we will have P by RT is equal to 1 by V. Equation number 5. Let us put this for V1 and this for V2 here in the denominator. When we consider this as V1, it will be P1 RT. When this will be V2, it will be PRT. And so with 5 equation 4 will become W is equal to minus B into P1 minus P2. P2 minus P1 I have written as P1 minus P2, so minus B, plus 2A into 1 by V1 is P1 by RT minus P2 by RT. If RT is taken common, this W will be minus B into P1 minus P2 plus 2A divided by RT into P1 minus P2. P1 minus P2 is here, P1 minus P2 is here. Let us take this as common. So total work done W will be equal to P1 minus P2 into, in the bracket, minus B plus 2A divided by RT, minus B into P1 minus P2, 2ART into P1 minus P2. Equation number 6. Equation number 6. When we change the volume of a gas, the work done is also given by this formula. W is equal to JH. H is heat absorbed or heat given out, depending on whether the reaction is endothermic, whether the process is endothermic or exothermic. J is joules equivalent of heat. This is further written as W is equal to J. Heat H is given by M, it is gram molecular mass, Cp into delta T. Equation number 7. Heat given out or absorbed by any mass of matter is always product of mass in gram of that matter into its specific heat into change in temperature. So this capital H is written here as mass M into specific heat Cp into change in temperature delta T. Compare equations 7 and 6. LHS is W, LHS is W, LHS of equation 6 and 7 is same, therefore RHS should be same. Let us equate RHS of equation 6 and 7 after comparing their LHS, so that we will further have this as JMCP delta T is equal to P1 minus P2 into minus B plus 2A divided by RT. This is for the delta T is equal to P1 minus P2 divided by J MCP into minus B plus 2A divided by RT. Equation number 8. Delta T, change in temperature of the gas when its volume is changed from V1 to V2 is given by this formula. Delta T, change in temperature of the gas when the gas is compressed, is given by delta T is equal to P1 minus P2 divided by J MCP in one bracket into minus B plus 2A divided by RT. Now P1 minus P2 is positive, so this first term is always positive. The pressure of the incoming gas is always more than pressure of the outgoing gas, and therefore the term P1 minus P2 is always a positive term. So first bracket is always positive. Sign of delta T, whether delta T is positive or negative or 0 will be decided by the second bracket. Will be decided by the second bracket. If you want delta t to be negative, if you want delta t to be negative, how should be the second term? Second term should be negative. If second term is negative, then only delta t is negative. Any term multiplied by a negative term, this is positive term. A positive term multiplied by a negative term will be negative product. So delta t will be negative if second term is negative. Second term will be negative if, let me consider this as case 1, minus b plus 2a divided by RT less than 0, or 2a divided by RT less than b, or t less than 2a divided by RB. Equation number 9. T sent to this side, two A or B taken to this side, T to this side. Okay, so it will be T less than this, and so is it correct? Minus b plus 2a by RT less than 0, then only this will be negative, so this will be negative, and therefore 2a by RT is equal to b, 2a by RT less than b, or b greater than 2a by RT if t is taken here, t will be greater than 2a by RT. It should be greater than. So if t is greater than 2a divided by RB, if temperature T is greater than 2a divided by RB, then only delta T will be negative. When delta T will be 0, second case, delta T will be 0 if minus b plus 2a by RT is equal to 0, or 2a by RT is equal to b, or T is equal to 2a divided by RB. Equation number 10. Ti. Delta T will be 0, there will be no change. Delta T will be 0, there will be no change in the expansion of the gas from V1 to V2 if temperature T is 2a by RB, and we know this temperature as temperature of inversion, and therefore I can write Ti is equal to 2a by RB. If Ti is equal to 2a by RB, delta T will be 0. Delta T will be positive. Case number 3. If minus b plus 2a by RT greater than 0, that is 2a by RT greater than b, or T less than T is taken here, B is taken here, 2A by RB, T greater than B. So I think this is smaller than, and here it will come greater than. A divided by RB, equation number 11. So what we find here, delta T will be negative, cooling will be shown if temperature T is smaller than 2A by RB. No heating or cooling will be observed in the Joule-Thomson porous plug experiment if T is equal to 2A by RB, which is the temperature of inversion. Heating will be observed, delta T will be positive if T greater than 2A divided by RB. So these are the three important conditions. These are the three important conditions which will decide what will happen with the outgoing gas. Whether the gas will be cooled, whether there will be no change in temperature of the outgoing gas, or whether there is a rise in temperature of the outgoing gas. That will be decided by the temperature T. If T is less than this, there will be cooling. If T is greater than this, there will be heating of the outgoing gas. If T is equal to this, there is no heating, no cooling of the gas, which is known as the temperature of inversion. So this is about the temperature of inversion. So all mathematical steps are solved and the temperature of inversion is discussed. Hope you got it. Thank you.